Good afternoon, gents. Welcome to Tales of the Game podcast number 11 on slut shaming. Had to censor it here for the YouTube algorithm and all that fun stuff. So hopefully that works out. I don't have too much time here because I will be making an appearance on 99 Iron Duke's channel at the top of the hour here. So I just wanted to pound this one out really quick because I like these Tales of the Game episodes. I seem to be basing them kind of off of Twitter interactions lately. It's kind of like the easiest way to do it. Gets ideas flowing, get a lot of responses, have a little bit of a back and forth and such like this. So once again, this time it is coming from what I was talking about today. So I posted this earlier today. It's amazing to me how many guys waste their time slut shaming women. It is an extremely feminine tactic, which is why women always do it. It comes from a Captain Save-A-Ho mentality, and frankly, it's embarrassing to worry about some chick you were never going to meet. Now, I was met with a lot of responses to this, but basically, before I get into a couple of responses and expand on the idea a little bit more, basically I want to start and just kind of give a brief summary of my position on this argument here. And hopefully people can better understand it. And then we'll go into a couple critiques here, a couple back and forths that we had, explain those real fast, and then get out of here. So at the top of this right here, you'll see this all the time online about guys who will pick on some random chick, some TikTok thing. You'll see a random guy like do the on the street interviews, so to speak, with like the microphone, walks up to a random chick, asks her a question. You'll see this on any of the myriad of what I like to call Manosphere TM podcasts out there, like your whatevers, your Fresh and Fits, your Pearly Things, all those kinds of things where they just get women on the panel basically, and for lack of a better word, shame them for their promiscuity and such. And basically at the top of this right here, when I see guys engage in this kind of behavior online, mostly on Twitter, first of all, number one is, why the hell are you doing this? This is a girl you are never going to meet in your entire life. So why are you wasting your energy going out of your way to, shame this girl for her perceived promiscuity, which may or may not be there. You guys have to, again, remember that everything you see online, especially on these big podcasts, is, tailor-made for an algorithm and such to get your eyes locked on the screen. So is she promiscuous? Probably. Do you know for certain? Not really. Why are you caring? That's the big question. So number one, right off the bat, you shouldn't be doing this. And the number one response that people will get to that in response is, well, Red Hawk, we're living in this very degenerate time, this horrible world, and we need to shame these women so the next women coming up will, adjust their tactics accordingly. And first of all, this kind of goes back to the conversations that myself, Jack Napier, many other people that I associate with will talk about all the time is you can't really hold women accountable if they, number one, aren't invested in you, and they especially can't be invested in you if they don't know who the hell you are. So you'll see these guys like on like a Fresh and Fit podcast and such will, like they'll take like super chats from the audience, and there'll be this guy who like sends in $300 to rate the women on the panel and call them names or something like this. And yeah, it gets like a couple laughs out of guys who are also not fucking, in the chat, and it gets a couple laughs from people on the panel, and then everyone forgets about it in 5 minutes, and you're out $300 basically. So again, why the hell are you wasting your time doing this? The chick doesn't know who you are. The chick isn't invested in you. You're not going to get any of the kinds of responses that you're thinking you're going to get. And mostly these guys are thinking, oh man, if other women see us shaming these girls, then that means that these other girls are going to act accordingly and do what we want them to do. And again, it's the same position that you're in, because that chick that you're trying to signal towards basically, again, doesn't know who you are. She doesn't know, she's not attached to you in any way, shape, or form. So again, why are you wasting your time doing this? The second part about this is simply the fact of the matter is that men like promiscuous women. At the end of the day, this is just simple fact of the matter, and women see through this. Women signal for this. Women know this. And when they see you online basically saying like, oh no, I don't like promiscuous women, I don't like hoes, yada yada yada, they know you're lying, and they know you're full of shit. All right. So again, like your honesty will carry you way, way further than trying to throw out fake signals, basically. And the response to that the guys will always give about them not liking promiscuous women and not liking sluts Well, you don't like them if it's your girl in that sense. Like the maxim always is like a guy wants a girl who's going to be a slut just for him. And that's obviously true. Now, that doesn't mean that like guys like don't want like promiscuous girls and they don't want sex. That's obviously a lie. I mean, how many dudes are walking around the street and will turn their head sideways when a hot girl with a fat ass walks by? Or how many guys will eyeball a girl up and down when they're walking on the beach or something like this? Or how many of them are scrolling through Twitter and see like a picture that somebody retweets of a girl who's in, various states of undress and like some kind of Renaissance painting, or a picture of a chick in like a black set of lace lingerie or something like this? Or how many guys even watch porn or something like that? So all these things are basically just signaling to us and signaling to other girls that, yeah, you're full of shit. Like everyone knows you're lying. I know you're lying. The chicks know you're lying. So again, like you're not fooling anybody by trying to throw out these signals here and trying to be like a Captain Save-A-Ho here. All right, basically, all that you could do in this situation as it relates to the slut question, so to speak, is bang the girls you want to bang, keep around the girls that you want to keep around, and reject the girls that you want to reject. And that's basically it. There's no like going out of your way to magically, tell this girl she's doing wrong. And you, one single guy in her comment section, and the entire sea of guys who are number one simping for her, or two, the overall society at large that is feeding her all kinds of yes babe, go, yes queen, slay, go get your money, go get your bag, ignore what these men are saying, they don't know what they're talking about, go and sleep with 100 dicks, go do whatever you want. Yeah, good luck, pal, fighting all that propaganda and such that's out there. And also like what the chick wants in her best interest as well, because this is another thing I fight with trad people all the time about this, is that they have this false expectation, or I don't know what it is, like this I don't know, like for some reason like trads don't think that women want to have sex. It's really weird. Like this is why so much of the advice that is always given from trad men to other trad men on like how to woo your girl in the bedroom is you just do more work. Like it's a chore for the chick. Like you have to somehow like get in the girl's good graces by doing some chores or doing some work around the house or being a plow horse or something to like magically, then your girl's somehow gonna reach at you or something like this. No, this is ridiculous. They never really have had that enthusiastic, sex when the woman is like clawing at you to, rip your clothes off basically and jump on top of you and crawl on broken glass and all the kinds of things that we like to talk about in this space. All right. So yeah, sometimes women just want to screw, and this kind of turns into my next point here as well, where I can get this off the screen here. There we go. Get rid of that. The next point I want to address with this, and this is something I'm probably going to be talking about on Man's Hour tomorrow, is, people have, again, this like false expectation of what things were like in the past. I agree that, promiscuity and all like what people will quote as like mud degeneracy, is way more prevalent in society than it was in the past. I could agree to that statement. I could agree. It's certainly way more out in the open. To which degree like the actual numbers and cases have increased as it was compared in the past is up for debate, but I'd be happy to concede the point that it's worse than it has been before. That's fine by me. However, that does not mean that our past, whether you look at, I guess it depends on how far back you want to go in the West here or in other, Indo-European societies. You go back to a place like ancient Greece, where they had women that were the hetairoi or the hetaira, were high class prostitutes basically that were very central to Greek life throughout all of the upper echelons of society. There was a place for women to be in these like male spaces that were basically more or less high class prostitutes, and were not only allowed but were highly encouraged, in that part of society. You also see this repeated again in Roman societies with people like the courtesans, which also continued all the way into medieval Europe, which was still ruled by Christendom. And the church actually made exceptions for this in high class societies, because it's been a staple of all times, in all places, in all of history, that men in the top desire a variety of women. And, it was better for them to basically let in this degree of hypocrisy for the top guys at the top in order to, basically ensure their order would continue all the way down the social strata. You had women similar to this with geishas in feudal Japan, again, fulfilling the exact same role. And people would argue as to where Japan got this from, but they got invaded by some degree of a step warrior culture, Indo-European race at some point in history. So again, all these things aren't exactly new here. One of the biggest issues that we have in modernity is just the meshing of all the classes together and such. It's a big problem that we have here, and this also overlaps into this issue that we have here. So basically, my main point is that number one, guys, this tactic of shaming women online and slut shaming them and such. Number one, it's not effective. Number two, you aren't fooling anybody when you go about doing it. So again, just don't be partaking in this kind of stuff. And number three, if you actually want to change, what you would perceive as like the promiscuity and the hoes and such of the modern world here, the best way to go about and actually do it is just to decide what you're going to do in your own life and what control you're going to have. This kind of complaining always comes from like a position of like a weakness in the sexual market, generally speaking. You never really see guys who are successful with girls like complaining about hoes. And now there's two parts to that. Number one, there's a part, obviously, like if a guy is being successful, he doesn't want to basically, shame his target audience, so to speak. You don't want to go around and, shame your quarry, basically, because then you're not going to have access to it in the future, So that's one part of it. The second part of it is that they know it's just, it's not effective and it causes problems for them. So, like me running around and, going into like a bar or a club or on a dating app or something like this. You see this all the time on dating apps, like guys will list out like a list of demands in their profile or something. And girls would just screenshot it, put it in their group chats with their friends, make fun of the guy for it, ignore him and move right on, So you just really have to understand that where like actually shaming of like sluts and stuff, this is, it's like intersensual combat between women. Why is it always that the girl is the first one to go call the other girl like promiscuous or she's a slut or something like that? It always comes out of a girl's mouth first before a guy's mouth. All right. And there's a reason for that, so you need to be, this is kind of like a domain of women is basically what I'm trying to get at here. Like you running around, like wagging your finger at everybody. It's just not productive. And it's also something that women do amongst other women, because it's basically, how they would essentially like lock down the other guys. Like this other girl, if she's throwing around sex all the time, then that's going to cause problems for other people. But also like into my point earlier about what I was talking about, like what you call basically like a high class prostitutes kind of deal. You would never like really see this kind of behavior out of like, high class men at the top of their societies, basically. And you basically see this today as well. Like, go out to Vegas or something like that. And there's guys walking around with escorts all the time when you're walking into like the high roller rooms and things like this, or like the high end cigar lounges or something like this. People got escorts on their hands. It's just the nature of the beast, so to speak. And these guys, like Alexander the Great, Alcibiades, any number of the Roman emperors, anything like this, they're not walking around shaming women in this regard. It's just, they've got other things to be doing with their time, So that's basically all I really wanted to get out here on this one. Those are just like my big points here. It's a feminine behavior to be like wagging your finger at everybody. If you want things to change, the best way for you to go out and change it is just to enforce your own boundaries in your own life. Decide which women you want to give your time to and which ones you don't. And maybe you don't want to like go around and sleep with a bunch of hoes. That's totally fine. That's your prerogative. Nobody here is going to have any issue with that. Certainly, don't have to go and settle down with them either or any of that nonsense or any of that bullshit. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is that it's not your business to go running around and being, Cap to save a hoe for all these girls who are going down bad paths in their lives. If you want to enjoy them on your own, enjoy them on your own terms, basically, be my guest, go for it. If you don't want to, that's fine too, but that's essentially all I really wanted to go over here real quick. And then I'll zoom over to another call here at top of the hour. That'll be a fun stream. But yeah, guys, so don't be worried about this kind of stuff. Women are going to do what women are going to do. And basically all you could do is change how you're going to react to it. So you, Anonymous, Anon on Twitter are in no position to, put women back into the kitchen, so to speak, or, make all of them, dress up in full like burqa and cover from head to toe, basically. You're in no position to do that. It makes you look weak. It makes you look like, you're at the bottom of the barrel, basically. If you really are playing the game, and if you really are understanding women, this is not a critique you're really going to have. Like there's plenty of good girls that are still out there that you can go and settle down with. Like this, it's not like the end is nigh because, some like small town girl saw like some hoe online. It's not how it operates. It's not how it works. And even if it is and was how it worked, it still wouldn't be your responsibility because it's not your job to go and save every single woman on planet Earth. You need to get this kind of thinking out of your head. It's only going to cause you problems further down the road. So let the women be the women. Choose your targets carefully, so to speak. And that is all I really have to say here. Let me just check the chat really fast, and then I'll zoom on out of here and hop into another call here. Let's see. Let's see. Online culture is meant to stimulate the same emotive, the same shaming factor, the same stimulus as getting your face on the big screen. Stimulate. Yeah, pretty much. Again, like, it's just so weird to me when you get caught with these guys on like Fresh and Fit who send in like $300 like to just rate the women on the panel. It's like none of them are going to think about that, dude. Like they're just going to toss it to the side and pick up the next, simp bucks that are coming in their mentions or something like this, or the next sugar daddy is going to pay for them for something. It's like, it's just ridiculous, man. And also like, why are you trying to signal this way? It's just very weird thinking to me. And I know where it comes from. It comes from like, people want to like preach their virtue kind of deal and everything. But again, it's like you're just lying, dude. You really are just lying. Everyone likes a nice pair of tits, and don't tell me otherwise. And everyone especially likes a nice pair of tits when they're right in your face and you barely have to do any work for it. So don't come in here and start lying to me, because all the other guys here know that you're lying. The women also know you're lying, and they signal for this as well, and thank God that they do. Man, it would be a very depressing place in this world if women didn't walk around in, some nice clothes and tight dresses every now and then, and nice hot bikinis and lingerie and stuff. The world would be a hellish place. I struggle to think what guys like the Middle East are doing when they have to deal with like fucking ankles that women are showing like on the day. Oh my God, that chick showed some ankles. Like, my God, what a horrible place that would be. And also, you got to remember this as well. Just again, like talking about different societies and such as well. Those like kinds of qualities and such, like that society was developed in a certain way for a certain kind of people in a certain time and place. And it's very weird to me when I see a lot of guys that are, in the West, whether it's in Europe or in America or the rest of the Anglosphere, whatever the broader West that you want to define, who are basically saying that in order to fix the problems of, feminism and modernity, we need to import a different way of being and a different style from a different society halfway across the world into our, civilization. And I just think this is a stupid idea. It has never worked before. It's not the way that the Western man does things. And I'm just not at all an advocate of this in any way. Like there's a bunch of like morons that follow like Andrew Tate and say like, oh, we got to convert to, Islam to save the West. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That is such bullshit. It is nonsense. It is not how the Western man has ever done anything in this regard as it relates to the relationships with men and women. There have always been high-class courtesans in all manners of Western man society from the very beginning, and they were there for a multitude of reasons. Go listen to Bronze Age Pervert for someone who talks about this in a great deal. But yeah, so don't be wasting your time. If you don't want to sample them, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But don't go running around mouthing off online about it, because I just know you're full of shit, and the women can see right through it too. Honesty in this regard will carry you quite a long ways. So, anywho, all right. Yes, Wandering Panda, I do not like white Sharia. Fuck that. No, that is not our civilization. That is not our people. Absolutely not. Yeah, why a red-tailed hawk rather than eagle, osprey, or kestrel? Well, because red-tailed hawks are the coolest. That's why. All right. Cool, fellas. That's all I wanted to talk about here. Just keep it a nice short one here. Go stop by 99 Iron Duke's channel at the top of the hour here. I'll be doing a stream there. Tomorrow, I'll be pulling triple duty. We got Culture Warriors on my channel tomorrow. We're going to talk about villains. That'll be fun. I got Man's Hour tomorrow night on my channel. And then, of course, we got the Old Glory Club Pony Express Radio panel show that is tomorrow night as well. So I'll be doing a triple shift tomorrow. Be sure to stop by. See you guys tomorrow.